You see it hovering at the edge of your yard, wings catching the afternoon light like stained glass held up to a window. It holds position for a full second, completely still except for 4 wings beating independently at around 30 times per second, then shoots forward in a direction that seems physically impossible, reverses course mid-air without decelerating, and vanishes into the tree line before your eye finishes processing what it saw. You watched it for maybe 5 seconds. You probably looked back at your phone or your drink or whatever you were doing before. You probably did not know that in those 5 seconds, that animal killed something. Maybe 3 things. The creature you just watched is not decorating your yard. It is hunting it. And what it is hunting are the exact insects that have been driving you inside every warm evening since May. The dragonfly has been doing this for longer than most animals have existed on this planet. Fossils recovered from the Carboniferous period, roughly 325 million years ago, show dragonfly ancestors with wingspans stretching past 2 feet, patrolling a world that had no birds, no bats, no competing aerial predators of any kind. They were the apex hunters of the air. No other creature challenged them for millions of years. 300 million years later, they still hold that position. The modern dragonfly is smaller, but the engineering is essentially unchanged. 4 wings that operate independently of each other, allowing flight maneuvers that no helicopter can replicate. Eyes covering nearly 360 degrees of their visual field, built from up to 30,000 individual lenses. A nervous system that runs flight corrections in under 5 milliseconds, and a kill rate that no other aerial predator on Earth comes close to matching. That kill rate is the number you need to understand. Researchers at Harvard University studying dragonfly predation documented that they successfully catch their prey in roughly 95% of attempts. To put that in context, lions succeed in about 25% of hunts. Great white sharks, close at around 50%. A peregrine falcon, widely considered the most capable aerial hunter among birds, succeeds in roughly 70% of stoops. Dragonflies are operating at a level that makes every other predator you have ever watched on a nature documentary look inefficient. And they are doing it in your backyard, right now, on insects you hate, entirely for free. If you're enjoying this so far, hit the like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I actually read them. What are they hunting? Everything small and flying that you hate. Mosquitoes make up a documented portion of their diet in nearly every habitat study conducted, with estimates from researchers at Rutgers University placing mosquitoes at 15 to 20% of total prey taken during peak season observations in wetland-adjacent suburban properties. That sounds modest until you factor in volume. A single adult dragonfly eats between 30 and 100 insects per day, depending on conditions, its size, and ambient temperature. A population of 10 adults working your yard across a full summer afternoon removes more mosquitoes than any Citronella candle, backyard trap, spray barrier, or bug zapper will eliminate in a full week of operation. The more important detail is not the volume, it is the targeting. Dragonflies do not hunt by sweeping the air and hoping for contact. They select specific prey mid-flight based on a visual calculation. Their brain runs faster than any instrument we have built can fully clock. Research published in 2012 by Fabian Romschied and colleagues at the Max Planck Institute for Neurobiology identified a class of neurons in dragonfly brains called target-selective descending neurons. These neurons filter out all background motion, isolating a single moving target and tracking it in continuous real time, even when the prey attempts to escape by changing direction mid-flight. The dragonfly does not chase, it predicts. It calculates where the prey will be and flies to that point in advance, intercepting rather than pursuing. Mosquitoes are not fast enough, not aware enough, and not designed to evade an interception system that has been refined across 300 million years of unbroken hunting lineage. They also take gnats, midges, small moths, aphid-winged adults, and whiteflies. The full inventory of flying pest insects that make a summer garden actively unpleasant. Entomologist Keith Soltner spent years conducting field surveys of dragonfly stomach contents across wetland-adjacent suburban properties and found that the variety of pest species taken across a single season was consistently broader than most gardeners assume. Dragonflies are generalist hunters. They take what is available. And in most American backyards in summer, what is available is exactly what you would hire a pest control company to remove. The obvious question arrives here. If dragonflies are this efficient, why are mosquitoes still a problem? The answer is habitat. And it is the part of this story that changes what you can actually do with your own yard. Dragonflies require standing water to breed. Their larvae, called nymphs, live entirely underwater for the first 1 to 3 years of their life cycle, hunting aquatic insects, midge larvae, and in larger species, small fish fry. An adult dragonfly found far from any water source is a transient visitor. It will hunt your yard as it passes through and keep moving because your yard cannot support the next generation. The properties with genuine, sustained dragonfly populations, where adults are consistently present in meaningful numbers from mid-morning until dusk, are the ones within a few hundred meters of a pond, a slow-moving stream, a wetland edge, or any standing water body with rooted aquatic vegetation. If this is making you think, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss one. This channel only exists because of the people who share these videos, and I don't take that lightly. That gap between what dragonflies could do and what they actually do in most suburban yards is not fixed. Researchers at the University of Florida, studying urban dragonfly populations, found that small backyard water features, including garden ponds as shallow as 12 inches and as small as a few square feet with a single aquatic plant, measurably increased adult dragonfly presence in surrounding properties compared to control yards without standing water. The adults were not breeding in significant numbers in these small features. They were using them as territorial anchors. Dragonflies establish and defend hunting territories. A small pond gives them a reason to stay on your property rather than pass over it. What goes in the water matters. Aquatic plants, specifically emergent species like pickerel weed, water iris, or arrowhead, serve 2 purposes simultaneously. They provide egg-laying sites for females, who deposit eggs onto submerged vegetation or directly into the water surface. And they provide emergent structures for nymphs, making the transition from aquatic larva to adult, gripping the plant stems as they climb out of the water and shed their larval casing for the last time. A half-barrel water garden from a garden center, filled with water and 3 aquatic plants, positioned in a sunny spot with a wooden stake nearby for perching, is enough to change what is happening above your property across a full summer. People spend more than that on a single season of mosquito spray and consistently see less measurable result in return. Here is the piece of this that reframes everything. The insects dragonflies remove from your yard are not merely annoying. Mosquitoes transmit disease. The geographic range of mosquito-borne illness in the continental United States has expanded measurably across the past 2 decades. The Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus species, capable of transmitting dengue, chikungunya, and Zika, have extended their documented territory northward from where they were recorded a single generation ago. The dragonfly working your yard is not performing pest control in some abstract ecological sense. It is operating, in the most direct biological terms, as a disease prevention system, one that needs no batteries, no chemical refills, no annual service contract, and no appointment. One that has been running continuously across every warm habitat on the planet for 300 million years before we thought to build anything. You can spend a summer buying Citronella torches, clip-on repellent fans, and backyard zappers, and you will reduce your mosquito exposure in a 10-foot circle around wherever you happen to be standing. Or you can add a small water feature with a few aquatic plants, leave some tall perches at the garden's edge, and draw in a predator that intercepts at a 95% kill rate, 30 to 100 insects per day, across your entire property, every afternoon of the warm season, without you doing anything further. One is a product. The other is an ecosystem that was already built to work before we arrived. The dragonfly has been the answer to the mosquito problem since before our species existed. We did not design it. We did not engineer it. We just, somewhere along the way, stopped creating the conditions that made it stay.